I'm gonna shoot you right down.
This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces.
He reminded the world, as he has time and time again, being an American means something unbreakable. If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you. We didn't start this war, but under President Trump, we are finishing it. Their war on Americans has become our retribution against their idol.
Iran is run by lunatics, religious fanatic lunatics. They have an ambition to have nuclear weapons. They intend to develop those nuclear weapons behind a program of missiles and drones and terrorism that the world will not be able to touch them for fear of those things. This is the weakest they've ever been. Now is the time to go after them. The president made the decision to go after them, take away their missiles, take away their navy, take away their drones, take away their ability to make those things so that they can never have a nuclear weapon.
Finally, to the great proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
Boom, boom, boom.
Operation Epic Fury, airstrikes, naval attacks, cyber operations, and missile strikes. It's to stop Iran's nuclear weapons program. President Trump has said it over and over again. Iran does not need any nuclear weapons. The Trump administration reiterating that point. Here's Secretary Rubio with more on that.
The goals of this mission are clear, and it's important to continue to remind the American people of why it is that the greatest military in the history of the world is engaged in this operation. It is to destroy the ability of this regime to launch missiles, both by destroying their missiles and their launchers, destroy the factories that make these missiles, and destroy their navy. I think we are all seeing right now the threat that this clerical regime poses to the region and to the world. They are trying to hold the world hostage. They are attacking their neighbors. They are attacking neighboring countries, their energy infrastructure, their civilian population. They're attacking embassies. This is a terrorist government. This is a terroristic regime. And we are seeing them conduct terrorism using nation-state elements, using weapons like missiles and one-way attack drones. And the objective of this mission is to destroy their ability to continue to do that. And we are well on our way to achieving that objective every single day with overwhelming force, with overwhelming precision. The military, the United States military, the men and women in uniform are conducting an extraordinary operation. There are not a lot of cameras down there covering what they're doing, as opposed to some of the other images that you may see from some of the cities and capitals nearby. But I want everyone to know your military is getting the job done. And every single day, this regime in Iran has less missiles, has less launchers, their factories work less, and their navy is being eviscerated. And the world is going to be a safer and a better place when this mission is accomplished. And
Iran is being crippled at this hour. Senior regime and military leaders dead. Command and control is being disrupted. It's all being destroyed.
They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft equipment. It's all been blown up. They have no radar. They have no telecommunications. And they have no leadership. It's all gone. So, you know, you could look at that statement. We could call it a tremendous success right now as we leave here. I could call it, or we could go further. And we're going to go further. But the big risk on that war has been over for 3 days. We wiped them out in the first 2 days. When you think about it, it's incredible. We wiped out a big Navy, very powerful Navy. You know, these were ships. These were serious ships. These were ships that you buy when you want to win battles. They're all on the bottom floor. The sailors are all running off their ships. They refuse to get on the ships. The Air Force is gone. Everything's gone. The missiles are down to a trickle. The drones are down to probably 25%, and they'll soon be down to nothing. We'll have where they manufactured the drones are under fire as we speak. They're being hit. So the rest is going to be determination as to my attitude, along with the people in the Trump administration, what we want to do.
Following Operation Epic Fury closely is Sierra Claire, foreign policy expert. Sierra, we've been following this for quite some time. The big picture, this is now considered the largest U.S. military campaign against Iran in modern history. Iran has spent years, as we know, building underground and hardened facilities, and U.S. forces are finding them and bombing them still this morning. What's your take?
Right, Vanessa. Well, as you said, we've been covering this, and I talked about this with your audience a little bit last week, and I think that we're hearing, President Trump staying very much on track, staying committed to those operational goals. And he even said at one point that we are ahead of schedule. So I think Americans can view this operation as a huge success. And it really shows what our military can do when they're, given the support to do it. And in terms of Iran and what President Trump just said there about, it's up to us, the U.S. and the Trump administration, what we want to see from Iran next is exactly what he said. I hear a lot of people now. People were panicking that this was going to take too long. Now they're panicking it's not going to take long enough. President Trump is committed to these operational goals. And I highly doubt that the Iran regime, the current regime, is going to agree to his demands. But as he said, if there's an opportunity where they are going to agree to his demands, he's open to that. And so that just shows that this is about our military goals, and this is not about anything else that the liberal left media keeps trying to push into the agenda. And our government is sticking to the goals that they have set out for themselves.
You mentioned the timeline. Some say this could take weeks, even months. President Trump says we're ahead of schedule. Take a listen.
And missiles at a rate that nobody thought was possible. We're knocking them out. We know where they all are. We're knocking them out very quickly. We're ahead of our initial timeline by a lot. I would say that we probably would not have thought after a month we'd be here. In addition to the fact that we've taken out the leadership twice and maybe three times. And we, as you know, we want to be involved. We don't want another president that maybe wouldn't be willing to do what I'm willing to do for the good of the world, for the good of our nation, to be stuck with a situation in 5 years or 10 years from now. So we think they should put a president in, or the head of the country in, that's going to be able to do something peacefully for a change. They've been doing this for 47 years.
47 years, almost 5 decades. President Trump saying again that we are ahead of schedule, which is great news to everyone, the people here in America, also obviously the people in Iran, the women there as well. But it's up to them, Sierra, to choose their new leader. As President Trump has said, this is their time to make that change.
Absolutely. What people are confused when President Trump says we want to be involved is this is about our military goals of Iran not having a nuclear weapon. And that's what we're concerned about. We are leaving that country, open to the Iranian people, as President Trump in that very first clip that you played talked about, a chance for a generation. And so if we have a leader that we're working with that's talking about military goals and, keeping nuclear weapons off the table and all of that, the Iranian people may also choose their own leader, and that is up to them. And President Trump supports them in doing that. So I think that the time is coming. I just spoke to an expert last night, actually, who said that he's 100% sure that the Iranian people are going to come back out onto the streets when it's safe to do so. And, the bombing and stuff has calmed down a bit. But people are 100% sure that the Iranian people are going to come back out to the streets. So they have their own plan, and they're going to figure it out amongst themselves. And President Trump in the United States, of course, supports them in doing that. as you said, these women that have just been brutalized. I think there's so many people who can empathize with the Iranian people, and what's been done to them by this awful regime.
Yeah, again, for 47 years living under a shield from them. We can't reiterate this enough. Nuclear weapons. President Trump has said for years that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. I want to take a quick look at what he said recently and then come back and let you listen to what he said years ago. So here's the first clip.
On the very first day I came down the escalator in 2015, I said, quote, I will stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. And all I'm doing is keeping my promise. Think of that. That was in 2015. I said it. It was a threat then and a much bigger threat now, but no longer a threat, not for a long time anyway. We want to keep it that.
So he just said that. He mentioned 2015, and that clip has surfaced. Here is that clip from 11 years ago. Listen.
I will stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. And we won't be using a man like Secretary Kerry that has absolutely no concept of negotiation, who's making a horrible and laughable deal, who's just being tapped along as they make weapons right now.
There you have it. That was in 2015. The people of America voted for Trump 3 times, and they knew what they were voting for. So, Sierra, why all of this surprise now when Operation Epic Fury is well underway? You have the Democrats and some people on the right, some of these rhinos saying, what are we doing? What's going on? Like they're surprised that this is something new from President Trump.
Well, Vanessa, what is so shocking to me, everything you said is true. People knew what was going on with President Trump, where his positions and stances were on everything. If you go back to his first term, he bombed Soleimani. So people knew his style, that he will use military force when, the regimes or whoever is threatening America is not negotiating. But what's so shocking to me is that if you read Iranian regime propaganda, it is almost word for word what comes out of some of these people's mouths. On the left, as you said, some people on the woke right too. And it's fine to have an opinion and to be against this war or to be against war in general or whatever people's personal opinions are. But I mean, if you're in media or if you are in politics at all, like you should have some sense not to just parrot Iranian regime propaganda. And I just think it's so irresponsible what people are doing. And really on the Democrat side, it's about wanting to see America lose, which I think is disgusting. America's winning, and we're winning at a lot of things, and now we're winning at this war.
Right. And I don't understand that either. People saying, oh, President Trump is putting Israel first. No, he's still putting America first. And Israel is one of our biggest, if not our biggest ally. And so you have the 2 strongest military forces in the world coming together to make sure that these terroristic regimes like Iran do not have nuclear weapons and cannot affect the rest of the world. But here in our homeland, the concern now, and has been for quite some time, is sleeper cells in the U.S. The president saying this.
Has Iran activated any sleeper cells inside the U.S.? There's reports that they have pressed that trigger button to activate those cells, at least abroad.
Well, they've been trying for a long time. We've been very much on top of it. One of the things we have to do is get the Democrats to stop the Democrat shutdown, because, as you know, the apparatus that looks into that, Schumer and the Democrats have shut it down, which tells you they probably hate our country a lot. But the Democrats have to open that up. But we've got very, very good intelligence into that. We know a lot of different things that have happened that have been very bad. A lot of them came in during the Biden open border period, but we have them under. We've got them. We're watching every single one of them. Yeah, we know a lot about them. The biggest problem we have is the Democrat shutdown. We know a lot about them, but the shutdown doesn't allow us to do what we have to do.
Absolutely, because the Democrats aren't funding DHS right now, but Sierra, major cities, smaller communities, everyone is vulnerable to these sleeper cells who are just watching and waiting.
Absolutely. Well, and the Democrats, this shutdown is a problem, but the Democrats have been blocking our safety, from day one President Trump got in office by keeping him from deporting people. And as he said, we have so many people that we know are terrorists who came over the open border, Biden's open border illegally, who could be deported just for the simple reason that they're here illegally. And we're not waiting around for them to also commit a terrorist act, or we shouldn't be. And the Democrats are not allowing the Trump administration to do that. Now they've gone to this DHS shutdown. They are putting American lives at risk. And they want to blame President Trump and say, well, if there's an attack, it's because you started a war. As you heard in that first clip, we didn't start this war. You and I have talked about that. But America has the right to take any action we need for national security abroad or at home. And we cannot be held hostage by terrorist sleeper cells. That's why we have things like the FBI. That's why we have DHS. And so the Democrats' whole logic on that just doesn't make any sense at all. And it's very clear that they don't care about American lives.
Let's talk about the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices started going up. Then we saw last night oil prices started coming back down. The Strait of Hormuz, a big thoroughfare for ships that are, carrying oil. 20 to 25% of the world's oil travels through the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump putting out a post just last night saying, let these ships go through. Almost, making not a threat, but a promise to them that if they continue to shut this down or mess with the strait, big consequences are ahead. I think we have a clip as well of President Trump talking about the strait. So let's take a listen.
As we continue Operation Epic Fury, we're also focused on keeping energy and oil flowing to the world. And I will not allow a terrorist regime to hold the world hostage and attempt to stop the globe's oil supply. And if Iran does anything to do that, they'll get hit at a much, much harder level. I will take out those targets that were easy and that I mentioned just before. We'll take them out so quickly, they'll never be able to recover, ever. If they want to play that game, they better not play that game. In the long run, oil supplies will be dramatically more secure without the threat of Iranian ships, drones, missiles, nuclear menace, or anything. So the Strait of Hormuz is going to remain safe. We have a lot of Navy ships there. We have the best equipment in the world, inspecting for mines. Again, most of their ships are down at the bottom of the sea, but we will hit them so hard that it will not be possible for them or anybody else helping them to ever recover that section of the world if they do anything. In recent years, the regime and its terror proxies have launched attacks on hundreds of commercial vessels. We're putting an end to all of this threat once and for all, and the result will be lower oil prices, oil and gas prices for American families. We've done that. We've done it. We brought it very low. This was just an excursion into something that had to be done. We're getting very close to finishing that, too. In the meantime, during this brief disruption, the United States is offering political risk insurance to any tankers operating in the Gulf. So we're putting up risk insurance. We'll perhaps go alongside of them for protection. We don't think it'll be necessary if it is. And if they do anything, the price will be incalculable. It will be so great that they will have wished they never did it, because you have to keep the straits flowing. With all of that, it affects other countries much more than it does the United States. It doesn't really affect us. We have so much oil. We have tremendous oil and gas, much more than we need. We have Venezuela now as our new partner, great partner. They've worked out so wonderful. We're working with the administration, the president, and it's a massive source of oil, gas, everything. But we're in a very...
Yeah, so President Trump talking there just yesterday, Sierra, basically saying that these commercial tankers and vessels were concerned to go through the strait because of the hostile situation there, but making a demand that they better not play that game. That's his words when it comes to affecting oil, not just here in America, but all over the world.
Well, the first thing I'll say is that people have very short memories when it comes to Iran. And Iran threatens to close the Strait of Hormuz whenever they're unhappy with anything going on in the world, whether it be from the US or anybody else that they don't like. And actually ending that is better for oil trade, for the world's oil trade that can be predictable, that is not held hostage by a crazy radical terrorist regime. The second thing is that, as President Trump said, the United States Navy is there securing the area. There's now French naval ships as well who are offering to do escorts and sending naval assets down to the strait. And so you're seeing the world is, again, on board with President Trump taking this action to secure that strait, to secure a vital international shipping lane for oil and goods. And then what he said, about America versus other countries, that's also an important note. And it is affecting other countries. And I think that the Trump administration is very aware of that. They've taken actions to try to mitigate that for some of our allies like India. But America is asking for understanding from our allies around the world that while we're taking a vital national security action to protect our own people, and in many cases, other people as well, other Western peoples, give us some understanding for a short period of time. You might see spikes and drops and unpredictability in the market, but at the end of it, we're all going to be better off. And as he said, America is very well off, and the Democrats are trying to, again, push a propaganda about gas prices. But I can tell you here in California, our gas prices went up because Governor Newsom closed 2 of our oil refineries. So there is a lot more domestically that affects gas prices than this action ever will.
Yeah, and you're right. We're going to see a lot of up and down when it comes to volatility with the market and oil prices. We're seeing that already. We only have a short time left. I want to bring up Cuba. A lot of people are saying, Sierra, that Cuba may be next. What's your take on that?
I think that's absolutely true. President Trump's already been mentioning it. Cuba is in no place to push back on any of our demands. I'm for the friendly takeover, and I think the probability of that just goes up and up with every day that we have the successes we are having in Iran, because it's a message to the world to negotiate with us. But either way, President Trump even said maybe it won't be so friendly. So obviously there's options on the table for him in Cuba as well, just like there has been with Venezuela and Iran. And you're seeing him tackle these 47, 50-year-long problems, and Cuba is right up there on that list. So I think it's definitely a priority for him.
And the people of Cuba, we've seen them and heard from them loud and clear. They're hoping that President Trump does come there like he did Venezuela and Iran, giving them some freedom. And we pray for that for the people of Cuba very soon, if he can do it. And if anybody can, he can. Let's talk about your Substack real quick. We have about 20 seconds left. I want to make sure that everyone is following you there and reading all of your great articles.
Yeah, I just published a new article that's up there talking about the US-UK relationship with relation to this Iran conflict. A lot of other coverage you can see on the Iran conflict. And I have a new podcast coming out tomorrow with another expert who's sharing some great historical background as well. You can find it at the 11 o'clock hour on YouTube or on my Substack.
Sounds good. Sierra, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Well, it is spring break for many children. Millions are traveling this week, and the airports jammed pack. To make matters worse, we're in a Democratic partial government shutdown, the left refusing to pass funding for the Department of Homeland Security. Lines are 4 hours long at some airports just to get through security. Senate Majority Leader John Thune, he hasn't passed the Save America Act, but he is trying to get Congress to open back up the government. Here's his speech from the Senate floor.
Mr. President, we are more than 3 weeks into the Democrats' DHS shutdown. And Democrats keep telling us that they're serious about funding this agency, but their actions speak louder than their words. Negotiations have been going now for well over a month. Democrats have sent 2 offers to the White House. 2 offers that were basically the same. No compromise, no give and take, just take it or leave it. Then on Thursday, perhaps realizing that forcing tens of thousands of DHS employees to go without pay isn't great for their brand, Democrats made a new yet equally unserious proposal, and that is selectively funding certain DHS agencies. That's right, Democrats want to fund the parts of the Department of Homeland Security that they like and keep the rest shut down indefinitely. Now, Mr. President, this might come as news to Democrats, but the fact is that every part of the Department of Homeland Security is essential. As our colleague Senator Britt pointed out on Thursday, Democrats' plan would leave Homeland Security investigations in limbo. A lot of Americans might not know it, but Homeland Security investigations is responsible for some pretty serious law enforcement activities in this country. They look up child predators, drug dealers, terrorists. And then there's Customs and Border Protection, another agency that Democrats plan would leave in limbo. Now, most Americans interact with CBP officers when they come back to the United States from abroad. They're the people who check your passport. They're also the people who prevent illegal immigrants and contraband like drugs and weapons from crossing our borders and getting into our country. Under President Trump, and thanks to the hard work of these men and women, our border is secure, and illegal crossings have shrunk to a tiny fraction of the record-setting numbers of the Biden administration. The police chief in Sioux Falls recently said this of the drop in fentanyl seizures in South Dakota's largest city, and I quote, "I think it's safe to say that some of the measures taken within the southern border are paying dividends within our community," end quote. Are Democrats looking to undo these gains and return to chaos at the border? Well, on top of all this, Democrats' proposal would also leave enforcement and removal operations unfunded. The people responsible for removing gang members, convicted criminals, and other dangerous illegal immigrants from our country. Mr. President, on Thursday, the ranking member of the Appropriations Committee, Senator Murray, said that Democrats, and I quote, we will not cut a blank check funding without reforms for ICE and Border Patrol, end quote. Well, Mr. President, no one is asking her to. In fact, the DHS funding agreement that Democrats reneged on would have funded de-escalation training for ICE officers, added $20 million for body cameras, and increased oversight of ICE funding. The Trump administration has already taken a number of actions to rein in immigration enforcement on its own, and the administration has made 2 substantial offers to Democrats to legislate reform measures over and above the measures the Republicans had already agreed to. Mr. President, Republicans in the White House are at the table. At the table. It's Democrats who are standing in the way. Mr. President,
And the DHS funding lapse, that actually began on February 14th. So we're approaching 1 month. Around 50,000 TSA agents and screeners are today working without pay. Meanwhile, in Washington, Vice President J.D. Vance is praising our first responders. Speaking to firefighters at their union meeting, he cited new benefits for them, funding, and even told some personal stories.
You know, a couple times I was one of those scared little kids who had to call the firefighters, who had to call the EMTs. You know, my own mother struggled with opioid addiction for a very large chunk of my life. And I remember when she was having a particularly dark moment and she needed some help. I needed some help. Our family needed some help. I picked up the phone, I called 911, and a number of brave, professional, compassionate firefighters from Middletown, Ohio showed up. And they calmed my mom down, and they made it possible for us to go on with the rest of our day. They made a kid who was scared to death feel like he had an ally in this world. I will never forget that. I will never forget also when we had to call 911, it wasn't a firefighter, it was an EMT who came and took my mom to the hospital because she had had a very terrible overdose. And I remember holding her hand, hoping to God that she would be okay, that she would wake up. We know a lot of our people have not woken up when they have those opioid overdoses, but by the grace of God, my mom did wake up. And by the way, she's now been clean and sober for north of 11 years. We celebrated her 10-year sobriety. Thank you. We celebrated her 10 years of sobriety in the West Wing of the White House. What an incredible testament to the American dream that a woman I thought would never live to meet my children is now the best grandmother to those children that they could ever ask for. And we celebrated that sobriety in the People's White House. But that moment, the many moments of second chances that we've gotten with my mom, and I love you, Mom, if you're watching this. She probably is. She watches everything. I don't know why, but she does. But Mom, we would not have gotten that second chance were it not for the firefighters all across our country, for the EMT specialists all across our country who make it possible for second chances again and again and again.
Again, Vice President Vance addressing the International Association of Firefighters. Around 700 people were in attendance for that. It is Tuesday. Turning Point USA Rise is with us. Several big events on their agenda. We'll tell you all about it. That's coming up next. Stay with us.
If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again. And two of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you can get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
It is Tuesday. Turning Point USA Rise is with us this morning. Jaden Hurd is back. Jaden, my friend, good to see you. Good morning. I am excited about a big event going on tomorrow in South Carolina at the State House, rededicating South Carolina back to Jesus. Well needed, really all over the country, but we can start in South Carolina. This is a huge event. Tell us about it.
Well, yeah, you worded it very perfectly, Vanessa. We want to restore Jesus and faith in this country as Turning Point USA Rise. So we partnered with the Charleston Crusade. They are going to be having a press conference at the South Carolina State House tomorrow morning. And so, again, like Jesus is King, and we want to proclaim this message to everyone. And so we're excited to be part of it, and it's going to be an amazing event. I encourage everyone, if you can, tomorrow morning at 9:15 to attend the State House at South Carolina.
Yeah, and that's just so exciting to see. It's going to be on the steps. And so tell us about what people can expect and how the state is responding to this message that you are teaming up with them, the group you just mentioned, to put this on. How are people there responding in South Carolina?
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems to be a revival. The Lord is working not only in South Carolina, but also nationwide. But South Carolina is just going to be another example of this revival in this country. I want to take it back a little bit to, September when we lost Charlie Kirk, and you just saw a massive, church attendance, not worldwide, but, nationally. And we want to continue that momentum as Turning Point USA Rise, because that's what Charlie would have wanted. And so what you should expect at this press conference is the name of Jesus being proclaimed. What you should expect is people coming together and uniting under one faith, which is Christianity. And it's going to be amazing, to be honest with you guys. If you've never experienced something like, like Christians coming together, fellowshipping in our state capitol, then you need to experience it. So encourage everyone to come out.
Absolutely. So if you're in the South Carolina area, make sure you attend tomorrow morning, 9:15. They're at the Capitol. Can't wait to hear all about it during that time and afterwards from Turning Point USA Rise. I also want to talk about, Jaden, I'm going to fast forward to the summer, but we are in March, so summertime is going to be here before we know it. Time is flying. I'm looking at Charleston Crusade, 7 p.m. nightly. From May 1st to May 3rd, there is an event taking place. Tell us all about this. This seems exciting as well.
Yeah, well, so this is between May 1st and May 3rd, and Turning Point Rise is going to be there as well. But this event was originally put on by evangelist Jacob Ebersol. And it's just going to be amazing. It's basically going to be a bunch of speakers under this huge tent, I guess you could say. There's going to be worship. There's going to be praise. There's going to be fellowship. There's going to be discipleship. And it's just going to be amazing. It's exactly what it looks like. It's going to be another proclamation of the Lord. And Jacob is amazing. He's an amazing evangelist. I'm an evangelist myself. And so it speaks to me a lot of the revival that he's putting on. And just the name Charleston Crusade, you can already conclude basically what kind of event this is going to be. So look, if you love Jesus, if you don't love Jesus, come, right? It's going to be an amazing time, again, full of worship, praise, and revival. So I'm excited.
And healing as well. This, if you're not in South Carolina, maybe you should be, because Turning Point USA Rise is there making things happen, bringing people to Jesus, and those who already are close to the Lord, bringing them together. Because just like you mentioned, Jaden, if you've never experienced something like this, you truly need to. In December, when I went to America Fest in Arizona, on Sunday morning, it was pretty much a service on stage. And I looked around from the media risers, and I really had tears coming out of my eyes. The people there worshiping our Lord, just coming together as faithful, thousands of people. And so it really is touching. It's really a tribute to our good Lord. And I encourage everyone, if you haven't, even if you have, These are the type of events that you need to go to, because when you start losing your faith in humanity, because we see a lot of negative, unfortunately, in the news every day, but there's so much good. And I feel, Jaden, that there is more good than there is bad. And so when you come to Turning Point USA, and you mentioned Charlie Kirk after his assassination last year, you saw this revival in the country and the world, and you're reminded that we are people of faith and we love our Lord. And so it's events like this that I'm so proud of Turning Point USA Rise to keep hosting and co-hosting with other organizations to make sure that we don't lose that in society.
Amen. Well, I mean, Charlie understood this better than anyone else, that faith is ultimately the foundation for everything that we do. None of this matters, as a matter of fact, unless we put our faith in Jesus. Because, I mean, Vanessa, what good is it that we do all these good things, but on Judgment Day we hear, "Depart from me," right? And so we don't want to hear those dreadful words. We want to hear, "Well done, good and faithful servant," ultimately. And so that's one of our pillars here at Rise. We believe in faith, family, and freedom, but faith being the first and foremost, right? And so all these things will work out together if we put our faith in Christ. So again, super excited for this event, and it's going to be amazing.
Yes. Absolutely. So make sure, we told you about 2 big events coming up in the South Carolina area coming up tomorrow. And then again in May, you can go to Turning Point USA Rise's website for more information on that and other things going on as well. I know, Jaden, we touched on it briefly last week, but I want to remind people that there's the race war going on, the tour. Tell us about that quickly and how people can get involved with that.
Yeah, Race War is a docuseries that was produced by our founder, Pierre Wilson, and Marcus Wada from TPSA Productions. Super excited to show you guys the first episode on all of these tour stops. So far, we've announced Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Georgia, and we've also announced Columbus, Ohio. But we also have, I think, 1 or 2 more coming out pretty soon. So stay on a look at that. But basically this Race War tour stop is going to feature the first episode, and then the people who are actually in the film, such as Pierre Wilson, Price Hopkins, Vince Ellison, and I believe also you're going to get there's going to be more speakers like from the panel, but that are from the docuseries, and it's different speakers every time as well. But it's going to be amazing, and you're going to be able to ask some questions. They're going to be able to talk about the film and go more in depth. So it's going to be really cool. I encourage everyone to go out. This is our biggest thing yet as Turning Point Rise. It's our first tour as Turning Point Rise. So if you want to be a part of something new, but also a part of something special, I encourage everyone to come out. You can find all of that at tpsarise.com/events. You can find each tour date, and you can find where you can sign up and attend for free. So again, super excited for it. And I'll be at the first 2. So if you want to come meet me, you should come.
Yes. Well, if I can get there to all of these events, I would love to be at each and every one, because you all are doing such great things over there at Turning Point USA Rise. Jaden, good to see you this morning, and we'll check back in with Turning Point next Tuesday. Have a great week.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Well, rev up your engines. The Freedom 250 Indy car has been unveiled. Secretary Duffy, Ambassador Monica Crowley, and the D.C. Mayor unveiled the Freedom 250 Indy car ahead of the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. Look how beautiful that is. Shining, gorgeous vehicle there. It'll take place in Washington, D.C. this summer, so be looking for that as well. Well, Senator John Thune, he hammers the Democrats. We'll listen in to more from him regarding DHS not getting funded. And also, we're going to hear from President Trump to get the SAVE Act passed. You're watching My Mornings with Vanessa. Stay with us.
Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code LINDELL10, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10. For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
We all know vaccines aren't the best. We all know natural remedies are the way to go. Our Allison Steinberg is with Dr. Louis Ziegler giving parents advice for our children.
Hello, everyone. Allison Steinberg here with Lindell TV. We are live here at the Willard Hotel for the Maha Institute event. We're talking about vaccines and vaccine injury. Very hot topic still, as you know, there's so many people who've been negatively impacted from these poison shots. But we are here with Dr. Lou Ziegler of Advanced Health Center. Doctor, thanks for being with us today. It's so great to see you.
Thank you for having me. It's always good to see you.
Absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit about your perspective on some natural remedies.
Sure. I mean, first of all, like I took an oath, do no harm. I mean, this is really critical in healthcare. As a provider, you really want to make sure you get the best healthcare information out. Do no harm, I really live by. We swore an oath. So today I want to kind of just talk about natural immunity. When children get that right from after the mother gives birth. Natural immunity is so powerful, and we really devalued a lot of that kind of sense of natural immunity. Making sure, vitamin D, I do so much time on vitamin D. People don't understand. That's a global health problem. People with low vitamin D levels. They don't know how they get it. We know it's a sunshine vitamin, right? But what does that mean to a lot of people? Vitamin D comes two different ways, basically, vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. We can take it from our food, but then it gets produced in our skin and our eyes, and then it gets into our bloodstream. But vitamin D is so critical. I mean, if you don't get vitamin D, we know for a fact, we have health problems. Children get rickets, osteomalacia, osteopenia, osteoporosis, besides, weakened autoimmune systems. Vitamin D is crucial in healing, right? Helps all muscle memory, muscle fatiguing. It's so powerful. Vitamin D helps like over 200 kind of genes in your body. So when people get low, it's a huge problem. And here's the other point. When food nutrients are low, right? You're hearing this message now, eat real food. People, what you consume is so powerful in building your immune system also. So I really try to tell people, eat better, eat cleaner, less processed food. Start getting rid of all these chemicals in our, on our diets and also in a lot of these shots.
Absolutely. It's so critical. And it's so interesting, too, with the vitamin D specifically, because you think back to the scamdemic, as I like to call it, and the so-called experts were literally telling you to stay inside, avoid the sun, right, when that is literally nature's best medicine. But let's say, you know, the average person or someone here that lives in the swamp like me here in D.C., where it's always gloomy, doesn't get sunny often. I know we should ideally seek the vitamins in our food.
Right.
If that's, you know, not enough, is a supplement a good way to?
You can supplement vitamin D, but you're right. I mean, the part that bothered me the most about this whole thing, telling people literally to stay inside. We're going outside. It's literally, right? Stay inside. Going outside is probably the most important thing you could have done to save millions of lives, and you never heard it from the top. And I think that's why I get really upset and really passionate about it. Going outside, getting fresh air, sunlight was literally so powerful, but it never came from anybody. Zinc, vitamin D, we know these things work for viruses. They are so powerful, and it is. It's super upsetting to find that no one at the top echoed it. No one. And I kind of echo the same thing. Foods, eggs, right? You know, fatty fish, mushrooms have vitamin D, right? There's a lot of foods we can eat. And you wish there would have been more of a run on those eggs, right? It's simple to get to, help your vitamin D. So when the sun hits your skin, it produces that vitamin D. That sunshine really is like a hormone more than a vitamin.
Absolutely. It's so essential, and I feel such an immense difference in my overall well-being when I'm outside. I'm in the sun, get a little bit of natural sunlight. I mean, how important is getting sun first thing in the morning? Is there benefits to looking into the sun? I mean, we're told to look away. We're told to put sunglasses on, put your sunblock on.
No, it's interesting you say the same thing. You know, we've turned this kind of sun into this nemesis, but I'll share the same thing. It's the king. It rules. If the sun's gone, we're all gone. It's that simple. UVA lights and all these types of ultraviolet, is powerful, especially when it hits you in the eyes. The red light gets into your eyes. It affects a lot of the way we think, how we feel. You know, we talk about the serotonin mechanisms. Again, it affects almost over 200 genes, but the light is very important. Morning sunlight particularly is very powerful. Getting it into your eyes in the morning, those morning walks are fantastic. I recommend people every morning get up, walk, let that morning sunlight get right into your eyes for about 20 minutes.
That truly is the best medicine,
and
I
it's
think.
free.
And it's free. Doesn't get much better than that. Maybe that's why they don't want you to know about it, right?
I think that is part of the agenda. They don't want you to know the things you can do for yourself. Lifestyle medicine is so powerful. Eating good, consuming good food, good water, taking care of people is really what my goal is, that people have really good health advice. But vitamin D, come on. We have to kind of let people know it's safe. Right? It does no harm. We need it in our system. Everybody is so low, and it's very simple. If they, from supplementing and food, it's a nice way to get into our system every day. Go outside.
So we know sun is essential to good health, but talk to us a little briefly about sunscreen, because I hear so many mixed things on sunscreen specifically, that it actually can do more harm than good. What's the best approach with sunscreen?
Yeah, so this is what I can echo on the sunscreen. So as we were taking earlier, sun got villainized. But protecting yourself, I do like not putting a lot of chemicals on your body. Really, the chemicals are more of a problem. So the same thing, I like some of the mineral bases. If you burn or you go out, you get multiple burns. So protecting yourself without the chemicals are key. The problem for most people not getting enough vitamin D, they only have a certain amount of their skin exposed, right? It's only their face, so their back or legs are not always exposed to the sun. So you want to get some surface area in the summer, your legs, get some. Protect your face maybe a little bit with some minerals. Zinc oxides are a nice way, so you don't get really burnt on your face. And then don't try to go out in the middle of the day when it's super hot. Get some morning light, get some afternoon.
Smart sun exposure is
very
the way
good.
forward.
Yes.
Be smart about it. Wear a visor, wear a hat too, right?
Yeah.
Good to know. Well, doctor, you've done a great job taking care of me personally. You are fantastic. Everyone check them out at Advanced Health Clinic. I've had the worst migraines, I'm telling you. And Dr. Z literally with acupuncture has changed my life. Talk a little bit about acupuncture and the benefits of that.
It's interesting about acupuncture and bridging what we call the mitochondria. Acupuncture is a great tool. It's been around for thousands of years. Just like the sun. People worshiped the sun thousands of years ago. I don't know if you know this, but also hospitals used to have sunning beds that patients would get sun, which is interesting about how this goes together with acupuncture. Acupuncturists realize how to bridge the sunlight and the mitochondria. These acupuncture needles will look like a bridge. It'll open up gateways, help more energy flow to certain organ systems, which is truly amazing when you think about it. Figured this out like 6th century BC, wrote it down, documented it. These people were really powerful and really trying to move this kind of ancient medicine more modern. And I'm so happy to be practicing it. I love it. It helps people with like certain conditions like migraines or this, but bridging that with acupuncture needles is great.
So if you're in the Virginia, D.C. area, everyone check out Dr. Z. He's the best Advanced Health Center. And thank you so much for all that you do. Thanks for being with us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
There you go. Great advice there as we head into summertime. Protect your kids. All right, let's take a quick look at opening bell on Wall Street. Numbers from MarketWatch.com. The Dow, S&P 500, the NASDAQ showing some green at this hour. The Dow, S&P 500 still down. Markets are looking lower again today as we monitor the conflict overseas. A quick look at your news to go as we start your day. President Trump and his White House continue to press the Senate to get the Save America Act passed. It's still sitting in the Senate. Thune has not moved it through for approval. Another day as we, as Americans, still wait. Looking at President Trump's agenda for today, he has no public appearances planned. He has a few executive orders he's signing, and then he will be in policy meetings all afternoon. And join us tomorrow for My Mornings with Vanessa and FYI on AI, artificial, that is, intelligence, how it's affecting everything, including the movies we watch. That's coming up right here tomorrow. Do not miss it. Artificial intelligence and how it affects your families. And for all of your news headlines, be sure to log on to LINDELLTV.com and download the Lindell TV app. We leave you today in prayer. Our daily Bible verse comes from the book of John. The Bible says, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world." Watch out for those false prophets. Unfortunately, they are out there. And that'll do it for us here this morning. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Have a good day, America.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
Are you taking advantage of President Trump's golden age? Or what if I told you can just sit back and earn money as President Trump continues to repair our economy and make America energy independent again? I'm talking about oil royalty checks. With the help of the Oxford Club, thousands of Americans have unlocked this secret hack that has put money back in hard-working American pockets. Financial expert and Lindell TV supporter Mark Litchenfield has showed me how. It's a way to profit from America's energy production that's been working quietly for decades, even when oil companies were struggling. So go to LindellOilBoom.com to find out how this all works and why it's relevant right now. That's LindellOilBoom.com.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Air Water Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal bronchitis, or just want to protect your family from the flu or even greater threats, don't wait to get your V3 from airwaterhealing.com today. Use code Lindell for 20% off in savings and free shipping. That's promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com. If you want